I love that.
Hi, everyone. I'm Eric with Awake, and we're looking forward to the Awake Festival, September 16th through 18th here in Evergreen, Colorado. And I'm honored to have Jaki, one of our presenters, on a call today. And she is blessed to be able to channel a frequency that we call Evaa here on Earth. And she may correct me about some things that I'm saying here, but I think I'm getting close to how exciting this is that myself, on behalf of the Awake community, after we understand better who Evaa is and how this works, I may even be able to ask a few questions on our behalf. So if you wouldn't mind, Jaki, jump in and let everyone know how this works and what it's all about.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Eric, for having this call. So the little correction that you were feeling when you said that is actually, you say our name, Evaa. And it is a singing of the name. And the reason why is because it is much like Sanskrit. Sanskrit is still a living language. So we sing the word because it is a frequency. And so when Jaki wants to call on Evaa, all she has to do is say Evaa, and we sing it. Okay. So there is your correction that you were looking for.
How beautiful is that? Because I remember that when I did yoga teacher training, that they taught us Sanskrit has the actual sounds mean something, and they have a vibrational frequency. So Evaa.
Yes, exactly. And we are a frequency from the very beginning. We are from creation. And so our signature frequency is what we would call the feminine. Sometimes you call it the divine feminine. To us, it is the feminine frequency. It is similar and different in the construct of the human realm. So there are some similarities that you will find as far as, well, there's a laundry list of things that I could say right now, but I will tell you some of the differences of also our frequency when we say the feminine is the creative force behind all creation. So this frequency is one of the frequencies that we are bringing into the human realm at this time. And we are working through vibration and through tuning people's vibration to frequency so that people are able to start creating from frequency instead of from tangibility. And so you will hear some people talk about us moving dimensions from the third dimension to the fifth dimension. The fifth dimension is mostly created in frequency. And so what's happening is that there is becoming a tuning process for the people who are trying to ascend to the fifth dimension. And we are helping that tuning process by helping people understand what frequency is and how their frequency connects to the collective frequency, we'll say.
Very cool. What an opportunity. This is wonderful. So is it a good time to jump in with a question?
Absolutely.
Okay, and I'm going to ask questions that I think will resonate with the whole Awake community. And I think that's why we were drawn together. We were saying before this call is Evaa feels that our community is especially ripe for this information. And that's why she's very excited to be part of this. So just it's such a blessing. We've been building this community for years, and I do feel like-mindedness with all the people that I've gathered together. So, this is just one of my own things, but it's very much a lot of people's things is anxiety, stress, sadness, all the emotions we feel around like events in the world, or even just a busy week when we tend to feel stressed. When we met before, I think what you're already starting to teach me is there's actually a frequency under that. And what you call tuning is a way to work with the frequency that's underneath all these disturbing emotions that we feel here on planet Earth. So that's really feels important to ask, because we all have these destructive, hard emotions here on this planet, I think, and we're all hungry to feel peace.
Yes.
So
yes.
What do you got to say?
Yeah, no, you have it absolutely right. What Jaki was shown was a new language coming in. She didn't quite understand what that is. And as we have been showing her how to tune different frequency of energy, we noticed that there are different vibrations that come in and they equate to a different emotion, like you were speaking of. And it doesn't just have to be the bad emotions. It's all the emotions, right? So joy and peace and love and all those other things too, abundance, wealth, all of those have certain frequencies to them. And so what we're being shown is that each frequency has a different emotion that's attached to it. So instead of sitting in the emotion of it and getting yourself worked up or too worked up over it, instead you push pause on the emotion for a second and you go down to the next layer or two where you start feeling the frequency behind the emotion. When you can separate out that the emotion is not you, but that the frequency is an actual visceral thing that you are feeling, and you can go into the feeling of it and not be afraid of it because it doesn't have a definition yet. You get to redefine it for what it is, which is just a movement of an energy wave. And some waves are big and some waves are small, and some waves are long and some waves are short, right? So when you get to separate yourself out from your emotion and you just see it as pure energy and movement of energy, it's not nearly as scary, and it becomes exciting to try and figure out what it is. You can attach a different definition to it. Then you start tuning that frequency into your body so that the next time that frequency comes in, you can go, oh yeah, that's anxiety. I know what that feels like. Or, oh, that's that frequency that kind of feels like anxiety, but now I kind of just like the feeling of it, right? So you start making friends with the different vibrations that come in, and you get to define them in a different way, and it creates a different experience. And this is why we are here. We are here to experience. And in particular, why Evaa is here, why we are here, is to allow human beings to have a different experience that is not so heavy and is not so scary, right? Because every human being that came here signed up to be here. It's not like you accidentally got plopped into this realm. It's actually quite a dense realm to be a part of. And so everybody signed up knowing that this was a dense realm. And somewhere along the way, we also started to forget that. And because we play the game of forgetting so that we can remember, it can become a tricky game where you get actually stuck too much in the forgettingness. And so we are here to help people remember, A, you are playing a game of forgetting, and B, don't forget you are here for experience. That's it. You are only here to experience. And so to make the experience a little bit more neutral in a way, and we say it in that way because when you have neutrality of emotion, it doesn't mean you're void from emotion. It means you actually get to experience in a much freer way. When you are one end of the spectrum or the other, like a frequency wave, when you are on your high or you are in your low, it is actually uncomfortable on both ends. When you can recognize that you can be more neutral in the middle of the energy wave, you get to experience in a very different, very free way. And this is what we're trying to help people understand, is by tuning that new language of energy, you are able to see the frequency for what it is. Then you get to choose the experience you want to have with it. We will pause for a second.
This is exciting. I feel like I'm at the beginning of an unpacking that's going to go on for potentially many, many years here on Earth. And I could feel the excitement and how much new information I'm hearing. And as someone who's practiced on this planet for 26 years, pretty seriously with my Buddhist path and yogic path, and really dug into my spirituality, a lot of this feels like really incredibly helpful information. So I imagine it's going to take many calls and trainings and time together, which will be wonderful. I want to get to know Evaa better, and you, Jaki, too.
Thank you. Well, I do want to say that there are two ways we're operating right now. One is to help people understand their own frequencies to be able to tune the frequency, and then to be able to recognize the frequency when it comes back in and be more specific about the usage of it. Okay, so similar to what we just said. The other way is we have also been tuning huge amounts of energy within us and within Jaki herself. And so we are able to actually pass along the frequency so that somebody doesn't necessarily have to tune it, but as long as they are in tune and in vibration with us, we can pass it. So we are actually twofold. We can do both. And this is one thing that we're excited about doing at the Awake Festival, is to be able to actually pass along certain frequencies to people so that they can feel what it feels like and they can take it on as their own, so that they don't necessarily have to do all the work. Now, don't get us wrong, there is always work involved in your spiritual path, right? However, there are a couple of things that we would like to do in order to actually send the frequency of love to all of the Awake Festival contributors. So we are very excited about that, because the frequency of love is of the strongest and highest vibration. You cannot get a higher vibration to that. And so that's why we would love to have someone be able to experience that, so that they don't have to go searching for it, because it seems like the thing that all humans are always searching for is this feeling of love. And in the process, we get tangled up in all the other emotions. And so we would like to actually pass that frequency on to everyone.
Wow. So just so I think I have an analogy for that. So is it, maybe that's kind of like when you get a massage, maybe, or you go for energy work, say, or things like that. So say I did Qigong, for example, I guess, and I'm doing some movements to tune my own energy, maybe. And then I might go to a practitioner for Reiki who I just get to relax and they can tune me. Is it a little similar to that, where you can get it both ways? Like we can do our own work and we can allow the energy to be kind of given to us from you, from Evaa.
It's both. And the reason why we are doing the second one is because of the experience, because we want you to be able to experience us the same way we experience you. And so being able for us to pass along the frequency of love, which is the greatest thing that we could give, is another way of us being able to experience a human being, and a human being being able to experience us.
Okay. And just to use one more example to see if I got it. I'm just rereading Autobiography of a Yogi, Yogananda, and there's many parts of it where his gurus can just wave their hands over his forehead and he goes into deep samadhi states for 7 days, say. Is it a little bit like that? Like it's a gift, it's a sharing of the energy that we're all part of?
Correct, exactly. It is a gift and it is a remembering. And we will send this energy vibrationally just from being in presence, but also we like to send it through our eyes. This is our most favorite way of doing it.
And can it be done on Zoom with me now, or is this something we wait for in person?
We like to do it in person because it feels more dense, but of course we can do it anywhere at any time.
So can we try it right now? Can I have a little taste of what divine love feels like, the highest frequency we're able to experience?
Absolutely.
Wow, this seems like a really auspicious moment in my life. So and you said it's how Evaa would see us. So I've heard that what people call God, or whatever this energy is, loves us so much we can't even understand it. Or if we've had near-death experiences and we feel that love, we, as humans that are so stuck and even have some self problems with loving ourselves here, we can't even believe how loved we are. Is it something to like that?
It is like that times 100. It is a place that when you go there, there is such stillness. There is no mind, there is no feeling, and it's a place you never want to leave when you get there. And it feels like there's no air and all the air all at the same time. It is a very interesting, what we would say peaceful place. But that is kind of the energy bubble around love. But you will let us know if you feel it. And then you
Can I
share your experience.
and can I clear out one more logistical piece before we
Yes,
jump in there? So on this planet, in my culture, we've been taught we have to work hard and struggle for everything. This sounds too good to be true. What would Evaa say about that? You're paused a little, but I hope you'll come back. Good.
Yeah, you're frozen too. Yeah, I think it's the energy, right? It's starting to want to be passed.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Things like that don't exist to us, right? I mean, struggle is a human construct word, but there's just a frequency behind it. There's a frequency behind pain. There's a frequency behind happiness, behind joy. So for us, struggle is just another word with just another frequency. So no,
Okay.
The answer is we do not believe you need to struggle for anything. You have everything at your fingertips. It is what experience you want to have and you choose to have here. Struggle in order to have a valid experience here. And that means that they could sit on their couch and they could manifest their world. And sometimes they do, because that is the experience they want to have. And then other people sit on the couch and go, this manifestation is bullshit. Right? It's not working at all. Where are my millions? Right? It all depends on the experience you're actually wanting to have here.
Okay. So so there is any construct I could come up with that I've swallowed or taken on in this earth. In this one, I would call struggle, Puritan work ethic, have to earn it, have to grind. All those, everything I could come up with is all just going to be a frequency that I can choose to just get used to being comfortable with and allow it to kind of tune to a more like an okay frequency.
Yeah. So let us give you another example. Love is, let's say, the highest frequency. So love encompasses all. It is the thing that connects everything together. And we're not talking just about the human realm. We're talking about all realms. Okay. So then within love, let's say you want to have a relationship and people say, oh, I'm in love. Okay. Well, if you are in love, then the truth of being in love is that you are in the frequency of love. The frequency of love loves everything, right? And it is all encompassing. So your struggle, your pain, other people being hurtful to you, all of that, it is all encompassing because we are all connected. It is all one. Then what you do is you say, well, now I'm in the frequency of love. I feel connected to everything and nothing all at the same time. But now I want to have this human experience with this other person. So then you decide to bring in the frequency of passion. You decide to bring in the frequency of wealth or abundance or contrast or chaos. You get to choose what experience you want to have with that person. This is where the human goes, oh, I'm in love because here's this person sitting in front of me and I'm completely, infatuated with them or turned on by them, and we're going to have this life together. We're going to create this wealth together and da. But the truth of the matter is when you pull all of that away, you are still sitting, or we hope you are sitting, in the frequency of love. So you are in love no matter what. It is whether you can recognize it or not, you are still connected to all. Then you choose to bring in whatever frequency you want to create whatever experience you want. So if you want a lover, then you bring in the frequency of passion for that person or passion for yourself, right?
It's
so
all kind of heading back towards love.
Yes, exactly. So this is how we would like people to start understanding that you can create your own realities and experiences through different frequencies, and you can layer them like a frequency lasagna if you wanted to. Right? So you get to put in whatever you want, as long as you recognize it is still all there for the purpose of an experience, and you don't let it get so construct and so condensed that you forget why you're here in the first place.
Okay, so to practice with that piece before we jump in, okay, my old story without this knowledge would be not deserving, not good enough to receive love, which is probably why I'm coming up with all these pause mechanisms before we do this practice, you know? You know, and I'm sure I'm not alone because I'm a therapist and I work with hundreds of clients and many of them don't think they deserve love. So if I put it through this new learning, that's just a construct. That's just a frequency. All things are going to lead back to a vibration of love anyways. And only my maybe my aversion to that feeling of not worthy, not good enough, not lovable is the only, it's not even probably a problem if I can just get more comfortable with that frequency.
Yes. And isn't it interesting how everything always points back to love? Every movie, every song, it's either a lack of love or wanting love or having love. It is a constant. It's everywhere. Even when we're wanting money, it is normally to create some sort of wanting of love on some level. So everything points back
to
love. So the truth of the matter is when I say it, you can see it is because we're almost enjoying the game of denying ourselves, right? So it's like if we are love, we're constantly denying ourselves of love, right? It's this game of constantly trying to have an experience with oneself again and again and again, right? So it is a funny little spiraling circle, you know, that keeps coming back to the same thing. But the overall energy is the energy of love. So yes, it is funny how the humans are constantly, they have every trigger around love possible. And yet they're all pointing towards love. So in the simplest form, we can say we are simply playing a game. Humans, they like to play games, plain and simple. They're playing a game in order to have a specific experience. What we are trying to do is to remind them that they are playing the game. So don't get so caught up in the game that you forget you're playing the game. It's fine if you play the game. And don't forget why you're really here. And you're here for an experience. So let yourself off the hook and have an experience.
Okay, so with say we have about 15, 20 minutes. If there was two things I'd love to learn on this call, it would be that one, to practice feeling the frequency of love. And the other one is to share with people how to tune frequency. And I have one more frequency that just came in that I don't know which we should do first, but is fear. I feel scared to experience how lovable I am or how okay I might be, because it's so counter to so many of my beliefs. And I wonder if that brings up compassion for a being like Evaa, to hear that people on this experience forget we're in a game. We're just here for an experience. And the experience that I'm having and many of us are having is filled with so much pain. So.
Thank you for sharing. There was something you said we were going to say and then we lost it. We must move on.
Okay. So would it be better to learn how to tune first, or jump into that frequency of love practice for folks, you think?
Learning how to tune is definitely a longer practice. So I don't know if we would cover that one on this call. But
so we'll do another one maybe if you're up for it, for that. Specifically around tuning, because that feels like a lot of people know about meditation, and this feels like tuning is going to be something we want to give to people that is next level, higher vibration.
I love that you said that because you stole my words. So what I was going to say is we are going to do a short tuning practice, and we believe that this is the new meditation. So you said the words perfectly. So we used to meditate. Jaki used to meditate, and it was the beginning of her spiritual journey. And now we recognize a lot of times meditation, and people won't like us saying this, but a lot of times meditation is a suppression of feeling. Because what we do is we have a bad feeling, and then we go into meditate and we quiet ourselves and we quiet our mind. And that part is good, except for the fact that we didn't move the energy that was of that emotion. So the emotion is still there. The energy of the emotion is still there. So while we think, okay, I feel better, I can take deep breaths, I feel calmer, the truth of the matter is that the energy is still in the body. And if we keep too much energy in the body and we don't actually move it and remove it out of the body, then it creates disease in our body. And so we have to be careful with that. So what we like to say is meditation is amazing for going in, silencing the mind, and recognizing what the different voices are. What is your mind's voice? What is your inner being's voice? And what is consciousness's voice speaking to you? When you have a differentiation between the voices, and you can go, oh, that's my mind. Ooh, that's my intuition. That's my inner being. Ooh, that's something outside of me speaking to me. When you can understand that is when we say, okay, cool, you're done with meditation. So we like to have it, the difference between the voices, because then after that, we would like you to follow your own guidance, right? And not to get so stuck in the mind. But so what?
So I'm ready to receive. Teach me.
Yeah. So what we were saying is the exercise we're going to do is that we're going to just take a deep breath in, and we're going to hold it at the very top. And then what I want you to do, and you'll kind of repeat after us, although it won't sound the same because you're a man, the vibration out your throat. Okay. Now the thing you just did is you did air out your mouth, right? So we will do it and you will hear us. And then we will explain why we do this, but we are starting to tune your energy. Ready? So I will go and then you will follow. Ah. Ah. Okay, getting better. So let us speak for a second. So we hear the first time you do it, it's like you're judging yourself. The second time you do it, you're a little bit better, still very judgy. This is very normal. It took Jackie a long time to get herself out of the way in order to make these kind of sounds. A lot of them are very low vibration sounds, so they sound very masculine. We know that she is not masculine, so it is not that. But the reason why we do this is because, and we do this before each session that we have with people, is to tune our own energies together so that we can hear our own frequencies as we speak, but also, and more importantly, for you to recognize the frequency that you are. When you hear vibration pass through your throat in that way, and you can feel the actual vibration of it, and your ear can pick it back up, it is a recognition of what you are. So seeing, hearing, feeling yourself in a completely different way, the way that we see you, which is a frequency, not a human body. And to remember and to recognize you are not a human first, you are a being first, and you are made of frequency. It is where you came from, it is where you will go back to. And so to be able to do this process many times in the morning, and to tune your own frequency, to hear yourself and to feel all the different frequencies that you can be, is incredibly important to us. And it brings you to a place of comfort almost, because it makes you remember vibrationally what you are. So we're going to do it again. And I want you to allow your throat to actually vibrate. I want you to slow it down and try and draw it out and actually hear what and who you are. Ready? Ah. Better. Better. So as you start doing this practice, you just got a little lightheaded there that time. Yeah. You feel the place that you're starting to enter? You feel it's calm. Exactly. Yeah. So that place, I think, is the place that most people are trying to get to through meditation, right? That's the place that you sit for 15 to 20 minutes just to get that feeling, right? And it's a feeling. So we're just getting you there a little faster. Okay. Now we would like to send you the frequency of love. This is not sound. We're going to go ahead and do it through our eyes. Okay. So we're going to do the breath work 2 more times to get you back to the place. And then we're not going to talk so that we can send you the frequency. Okay, ready?
Okay.
Ah. Good. Now come a little closer. And allow. Allow. Receive. You're a beautiful touch. You are, and you are so powerful. We feel Eric come in and want to stop it, right? And get uncomfortable. You received a piece of it. So the amount you received is the amount of love you receive from yourself. Which means we need to start learning how to love ourselves more so that you are able to receive our love more. Okay. But we saw you did receive it. And then we saw you jump right back in and whew, I don't know. Thank you. Thank you for allowing even that bit to come in. And this is why we like doing it in person, because we know we are on recording now. And so we know we have a time frame, and we know that you're very conscious of that as well. So how do we sat longer in it? You would have been able to feel even more of it, and we wouldn't have allowed you to get distracted.
Right.
Yeah.
So at the festival, though, in your tent, people can come and without the pressure of being recorded, for example, or time frames, people can come and really drop in to the space with you.
Exactly what we would love to do is to be able to honor others and to grant them beingness and to send them the frequency of love. And to just come and speak and get out of the sun and enjoy time with us.
Excellent. So at the festival, they'll probably get to hear Evaa speak through you at maybe one of the talks as well.
Yes,
do you think?
We would love that.
Okay. Yes. So we'll have a talk with you, and then there'll be people can come throughout the weekend and just spend as much time as they want in the tent and just relax and get out of the sun and maybe have a cold drink and drop in to the frequency of love.
Yes, exactly. There
and
will
maybe
be
learn
a
how to
tense of
tune as well.
frequency.
Yeah.
Oh yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
Yay. And can we just ask for your feedback? What did you feel?
So it's, yeah, it hurts a little. So I have the frequency of hurt because I felt maybe 10% probably of what's available, I would imagine, if that. And that's kind of how I roll in life, is that's what I think I deserve and what I allow in. I'm ashamed to be to show publicly that I think I would cry if I felt how much love I really am, or
Mm-hmm.
I'd be too vulnerable. So I keep my Eric front up. So my feedback is, I guess, this was a very tender way to, or brave way to show this to other people. I think for me to open myself up publicly, and that I can sense there's so much more beautiful, deep love to experience in person and in a more safe environment, I would think, which is going to be the festival. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing and for allowing us to at least give you that, and for exposing yourself. I think that that's perfect. Just like
The
you
other
said.
feedback would be that when I got to make those sounds, though, oh my God, I felt so relieved of any frequencies I was carrying around, and I felt so blissed out within just a couple of those sounds. So imagine doing that in person for a longer period with a one-on-one connection with Evaa. Wow.
Good. Good. I'm glad you felt that too. That's
Yeah,
really cool.
and I feel like this is the tip of the iceberg. And yeah, if people want to learn more before, is there a place they can connect with you? Or
JakiRoyal.com is our website.
okay.
So it's JAKI.royal, ROYAL.com. And then Instagram, Evaa has her own Instagram. She was pretty adamant about that one. So Evaa is spelled EVAA underscore Royal, ROYAL. That's our Instagram. So Instagram, you'll find a lot of different events and things like that, and whatever's going on with us as normally on Instagram. So
Okay, well, thank you so much, and we'll see you at the festival in September, and I'm sure we'll connect um, between then and now as well.
thank you, Eric. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to it.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.